Hi, I'm your host Vasco Duarte. Welcome to the Scrum Master Toolbox podcast, where we share tips and tricks from Scrum Masters around the world. Every day, we bring you inspiring answers to important questions that all Scrum Masters face day after day. Hello everybody, welcome to our Wednesday, the Leading Change episode, this week with Annu Paganus. Hey Annu, welcome back.
Thank you. I hope we have a great Wednesday.
Absolutely. Happy Wednesday, everybody. So Wednesday is, of course, the change leadership episode where we investigate the change process and what lessons we can take from that. So Annu, share with us that change process you were involved with. Walk us through the steps, how it went over time. And then as you go, highlight for us the tools, the tips, the tricks, and the techniques you learned back then that you still apply today.
Yeah, I guess one of the biggest transformations was after a few months when I had been starting my career in this company as a Scrum Master, where I'm now. We started this bigger Agile transformation. First, I was maybe hearing that, this is something that is happening on the business side, and then it started to come to the truth that okay, so I am part of this change, and my team will be as well part of this huge thing that is ongoing. And back then, of course, in the company there was IT teams who were working in Agile way, Scrum teams basically, and that Scrum was used, but then business people were in the different world. They were not working this way. They were just slightly related to us and the stakeholders from that point of view. But then we started this bigger Agile transformation into the company, and we created these cross-functional teams. So not anymore just developers and testers maybe in the team, but also there became UX designers in the teams, business requirements analysts, of course the POs and such, but analysts, data analysts. So we started to build up these more cross-functional kind of teams. I think it was in the beginning it was really interesting and amazing that, because people are also actually developers were also, I think in our team also, they were really excited that we will get more closer to the business and even UX designers, and they had no idea about how we will be collaborating with the data analyst person, but still a bit excited about it, that we have this opportunity. But what challenges happened there was that first of all, we needed to understand each other's roles. We started to work together quite quickly, but then there became a lot of this different kind of what is happening here moments for everyone, that hey, why are you doing like that, and this is not working, and we can't do it like this. And so we had to have a lot of discussions about people's roles. So what they are really, first of all, what are you expecting from others? But overall, because you might not understand what the other person is supposed to be doing. You are maybe expecting something from them, but you are not understanding exactly what their role is about. So for example, UX designer had to explain quite many times for others what kind of work they can do and what they should do. First, it was maybe quite narrow thinking in many people's head, also my own, that yes, UX design, they will just create these designs for us.
Pixel pushers, I've heard them being called.
Yeah, so it's just this UI design that they will provide us, and that's it. But then we started to learn more and more about what they could do, what we should do, and that started to help to create the work in the team also towards better ways of working and collaborating. But still, we needed these discussions, for example, between developers and UX designers, that how do you want to work together? How when we are working together, how do we want to work together? What are the like very practical ways of working? For example, we had to define quite well that in which kind of situations we want to arrange a meeting, when do we want to have a chat, and also one interesting topic in this kind of transformation is that many times these business people are like they are not that used to transparency. They have maybe got to use in their own bubble or work in their own bubble, and they only come out of that bubble when something is ready. So
when they are sure of what they want, right?
Yes, exactly. When they are absolutely sure that they are ready, they have done everything they have had to do, but not like show anything that is not finalized, something that is just a draft, to show that also to the world and get comments also at that point. So I would say that from these people who were more in business side, maybe could be considered. I think it's more challenged to learn the transparency, which maybe developers have learned to do the whole career. They have had to work like that they have to be transparent all the time. But also then other way around, that developers had to understand that, okay, we will have in the team sometimes these stories which are not bringing any new feature in the in the product which we are creating. Maybe these stories are sometimes some analytics related reports, which we get, of course, information then to feed new stories, or we understand our customers better, or our stakeholder understands better what is happening in our system. So it wasn't very easy for the developers either to get to use into the situation that we have these stories which are not anymore like just development stories.
And they needed to learn to speak each other's language as well, because when we bring business people or even UX designers together with developers, they're not necessarily looking at the world using the same concepts, and that can create confusion as well. Like there's this process of adaptation.
Yeah, definitely. And we have had, during the way, we have had several UX designers for several reasons, but we have had really great UX designers, and all of them have had a little bit also different kind of approach. Now our current UX designer is also into the code, so she's doing some code snippets. So she has really wide variety on what she's doing actually. So arranging these like user interviews and usability testings until the very code level snippets where she's creating some components.
And that also suggests that we might need to have those conversations about how we work together on a regular basis, right?
Exactly.
And why not having that as part of a regular check-in that is done in a retrospective?
Yeah, definitely. And we have had a lot of those discussions also, that okay, if you want to create these code snippets, how do we work together? How should this be done? So that has been agreed at some point. But I think everyone enjoys the fact that we have so much variety in the team also. It's not always easy, definitely not easy, but it brings I would say, the best results when we have.
And if we are able to deal with the fact that when we start, we don't know, right? Because that can create conflict, right? Because there's expectations on both sides.
Yeah.
But if we are able to deal with the fact that when we start, we don't know, we can then experiment many different ways until we find a way of working that works for us, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And if I would have to say that what kind of tools that have been used during this way, I think there are huge amount of them overall. I think one of the most enjoyable ones have been like in our team when we have been developing this mobile app. We have had, when we started to like develop this native app, we started to have these workshops. It was, I would say, from service design point of view, kind of workshops when we gathered all the information we had. Then we had comments, ideations, and everybody was involved from the team from the beginning. So we collected first all the insights, whether they were technical, UX, anything else, business, so that we would have as much information from the beginning. And then after that, maybe the UX designer has continued to work to make the designs and suggestions. And then we have reviewed those things. So this kind of continues, like, I would say that one of the best things that you can do with a team is to start together, start the work together. And only after that, start to divide somehow the work into some specific people and then review. As in an agile environment, you always should you should review all the time how you are working, but also like the work that you are doing. You should be open to the feedback from the other team members also. So making that kind of structure of way of working in the team is really essential.
Yeah, start the work together first. I think that's a beautiful wrap up for this story. Thank you very much, Annu.
Yeah, thank you.
Leading change is one of the core skills we must acquire, but it is only one of the steps towards our success as Scrum Masters. Tomorrow, on Success Thursday, we will talk about how to define success for the Scrum Master role. We'll cover tips on how to measure your way to that position, and most importantly, how to develop that focus on continuous improvement that is as important for Scrum Masters as it is for teams. See you tomorrow. We really hope you liked our show. And if you did, why not rate this podcast on Stitcher or iTunes? Share this podcast and let other Scrum Masters know about this valuable resource for their work. Remember that sharing is caring.